Good morning, adventurers. My name is Ben, and welcome to a morning show where I sit around, drink some tea, and talk about D&D. First up for T&D today, we have, of course, the mug with a stat block of a mug on it. I got this at C2E2 in 2020. It was one of the things that I purchased there. I got a lot of random art and stuff as well. But this is the one that I use most often, because it's one of the only ones that I can use most often. Inside of it, we have some Country Peach Passion tea. This is an herbal caffeine-free tea from Celestial Seasonings. It's really, really good. Also, I got a notification from D&T today saying that my back order was back in stock. And apparently that's why it's been taking a while to get here. So hopefully that will be coming shortly. I'm very excited about that. For the second up, before we roll into what we were talking about today, thank you guys so much for your patience. I have had a ludicrous work schedule recently, and so I couldn't get something recorded and put out yesterday. So, in light of that, what we are doing today is a little something that those of you who have been around for a while are very familiar with, but those of you who are new to the show might not know. On Thursdays, we talk about third-party books. I love Third Party Thursday. It's arguably my favorite day of the week. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about a third-party supplement today. As a little sort of like taster back for it. Plus, I miss doing them. I really like these. And I've gotten so many cool books. And by so many, I mean I've gotten like 6 really cool books this summer so far. And I love them. I love them dearly. This is one of them. And we're going to talk about this one today, because this is one that I was super, super stoked about. Another one of the ones that I got it on the same day as this one, is another Grim Hollow book, which I adore. I actually talked about it a little bit on Patreon a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to see that, go head over to my Patreon for $5 and up subscribers. Not the point. So, phenomenal segue. Flawless. You didn't even see the seams there. Today, we are talking about, on this lovely Third-Party Thursday, probably only one this summer, we are talking about Kobold Press's brand new Tome of Heroes. This thing is awesome. I have not gotten to read every single word in it. As I mentioned, my work schedule has been absolutely crazy, but we're going to talk about it a little bit because it's still pretty dang cool. And even though I haven't gotten to read, there we go, every single word inside of it, I've gotten to read a good amount of it, and I am a big fan. So let's go ahead and let's take a quick little look-see inside, shall we? So, anyone that has watched this channel for really any amount of time and has seen any of these before knows that Kobold Press I adore. They are up there with Grim Hollow as my favorites. So, when this one was announced on Kickstarter, I have to back that, obviously. So I backed it. And then when it came in, I went, oh my god, I can't wait to read this. And so I read a lot of it. Again, I have not read every bit of it, but I have read quite a bit of it. And I am psyched to get to talk to you guys about it. This thing is chock full of player stuff. Tome of Heroes. It is for the heroes of the story. It's also for the Dungeon Master and everything like that. But this thing is full of options for the players, specifically. DMs, you can use it too for your own stuff. But there is not like random little stuff in here that is more for DMs, as far as I can tell. It is straight up and down for the players, which is fantastic, and I am super, super psyched about that. I love getting books like this where they are just straight up player options. I always rip stuff from player books as a DM because I like to use things that the players would be able to do, the things that I can point to and be like, this is grounded in reality in some capacity. Reality being the reality of the game, not reality, because last I checked, people can't shoot fire out of their hands because magic, so there's that, I guess. But I do really, really, really love getting player books because it's fun to think about, it's fun to build NPCs with this stuff, and it gives me ideas for like stuff that could be going on in the world. So, inside of this book, now that I've vamped it a little bit, we have 5, 6, 7 different chapters. I promise that's not really a bit that I was doing. It was when I looked down and I saw 5, and then I realized the one underneath it wasn't an appendix, but then at that point I had realized that it was 7, so I just wanted to do the 6 for effect. But there's 7 chapters in here. So, chapter 1 is a series of races. We'll take a look at one of them because it's the one that I know that one of my current players is going to text me about as soon as she watches this video, asking if she can play. Chapter 2 contains class options for the 12 core classes of 5th edition. Again, Artificer is not part of their open game license and everything like that. It might be part of the open game license and not part of something else. There's a reason that you can't publish material for the Artificer right now that involves copyright stuff. That's why they're not included in most of these things. Most of these things that you can buy. They're in free stuff, but not purchasable things. Chapter 3, Backgrounds and Feats. Chapter 4, Adventuring Gear. Chapter 5, Adventuring Rules. Chapter 6, Magic and Spells. And Chapter 7, Magic Items. So, let's go ahead and let's start off. We're gonna take a quick little pit stop in every single one of these chapters. Again, quick, hopefully not taking up too much time here, because I do want to get to every single one of them and give them each kind of their own fair shake, even though obviously some of them are more exciting than others. So, for the races, we are provided with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, it looks like, different races. I counted very fast and I might have lost count in the middle there. I believe it's about 15. But the one we're going to take a look at today is the Mushroom Folk. That is exactly what it sounds like. They are mushroom people. If you are watching this instead of listening to it, this is the art for the Mushroom Folk. They're mushroom people. They are something to look at for sure. It's a cute little mushroom guy that I honestly do think is pretty awesome. They are, I mean, they're pretty cool. Sorry, let me start that bit over. In this book, they provide you with background on them as they would in a standard sort of 5th edition book. It gives you sort of like background information, some like, genetic information, heritage information, whatever you want to call it. It sort of like tells you where they came from, how they work, that kind of thing. The suggested, I guess I'll call it, settlement / civilization model for them. If they have any religions, name suggestions, maybe some specific like deity-based connections that they might have. And then they give you a list of traits here. Now, this stuff is not updated to match with the most recent iteration of the rules, commonly known as Tasha's rules. So it does have like specific ability score choices in here and some specific provisions, but that's easy enough to just sort of like replace on your own. So in this, I'm going to run through these things real quick. Ability score increase, ignore it. Age, they reach maturity by the age of 5, rarely live longer than 50. Size, determined by its subrace. Alignment, nobody uses alignment. Alignment is kind of a garbage system for 5th edition, just based on the way that a lot of people play the game, but if you use it, there's nothing wrong with that. I just really don't like it. Speed, 30 feet. Dark vision, 60 feet. Fungoid form, you're humanoid, though the fungal nature of your body and your unique diet of decayed vegetable and animal matter marks you with some plant-like characteristics. You have advantage on saving throws against poison, and you have resistance to poison damage. In addition, you are immune to disease. Pretty cool. Hardy survivor, your upbringing in Mushroom Folk Society has taught you how to defend yourself and find food. You have proficiency in the survival skill. So that's a proficiency you could replace. Languages, whatever. And then 3 optional sub-races here. Acid Cap, Favored, and Morel. Again, with these, ability score increase, throw it out the window. Size, Acid Cap is medium, Favored is medium, and Morel is small. Specifically with the Acid Cap, you have resistance to acid damage, and if you are hit by a melee weapon attack within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to emit acidic spores. If you do, the attacker takes acid damage up to half your level, rounded up. You can use that feature a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier per long rest, and you get proficiency in the athletic skill. Favored, you get Blessed Help. Your intuition and connection to your allies allow you to assist and protect them. You pick up Spare the Dying. Once you hit 3rd level, you get Bless without expending a spell slot, and you regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Proficiency with Persuasion, and if you or any friendly creatures within 30 feet of you regain hit points at the end of a short rest by spending 1 or more hit dice. Each of those creatures regains additional bonus hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. Once it benefits from that, it can't do it again until you finish a long rest. Morel. In spite of being small, your speed actually goes up to 35, which is exciting because I really like small characters. So that might be something I look into. Speed, you are... Nope, I did that one. Adaptable camouflage. If you spend a minute essentially hiding yourself, you get advantage on stealth checks. and you have proficiency in the stealth skill. So that is an example of one of the races that's in here. It's pretty well fleshed out. I really like it. I think it's really cool. And again, there are like 15 of them in here. We are going to go ahead and flip forward to a subclass option now. There is one in particular that I would like to talk about, but if I can't find it relatively easily here, we're just going to keep rolling forward and not really worry about it. Oh, we are almost there, almost there, almost there. So, the fighter subclass, the Pugilist. It is exactly what it sounds like. And all of these subclasses are serious subclasses. They're in Valda's Spire of Secrets, I believe it is. There are like 2 or 3 joke subclasses in each one of them. Each one of these is relatively, at least, serious. Some of them are aggressively themed, we'll say, but for the most part, they are actual, like, viable subclasses. Not that the Valda's ones aren't, they are just more memey than maybe normal. So, Pugilist. Running through these real fast because, again, I don't want to take up too much time here. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you learn to use your fists, knees, elbows, etc., etc. Your unarmed strikes deal 1d6 plus your strength modifier on a hit. The d6 becomes d8 at 10th level and d10 at 18th level. It also gives you the ability to unarmed strike as a bonus action, which is a common misconception in 5th edition. That's not a thing you can normally do. That's just a monk thing. You go ahead and also at 3rd level get to add your Constitution modifier, minimum of 1, to any death saving throw you make, and you can use a second win a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus instead of just once or twice. At 7th level, Uncanny Fortitude allows you to, if damage reduced you to 0 hit points, make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus damage taken, unless it's from a critical hit. On a success, you drop to 1 hit point instead. Number of times equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. In addition, when you use your second wind, you also regain D10 plus fighter level plus your Constitution modifier. So that's different as well. Debilitating Blow, 10th level. When you hit one target with 2 unarmed strikes in the same turn, you can use a bonus action to force the target to make a con saving throw. On a failure, it has disadvantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. That one, not great. I would maybe rather just punch it again and deal some more damage, unless you are really trying to like get out of there or you're trying to set something up for someone. 15th level, Withstand Death. When you're reduced to 0 hit points, you can use Second Wind as a reaction, provided you have uses of Second Wind remaining and a reaction. You can decide to use this before or after your Uncanny Fortitude feature triggers. In addition, when you make a death saving throw and roll a 1 on the d20, it counts as a failure. It counts as 1 failure instead of 2. That's pretty good. And Opportunistic Brawler at 18th level. You may not look for a fight around every corner, but you're ready in case one happens. You have advantage on initiative rolls. When a creature you can see enters a space within 5 feet of you, you can make an opportunity attack against that creature. Opportunity attack must be made with unarmed strike. You have a number of reactions each turn equal to your proficiency bonus, but those can only be used to perform opportunity attacks. So you become a punching machine. I really like this subclass. I wish there were more unarmed-based subclasses in Fighter and Barbarian. I guess really just one in each of them, because I think it's a sort of a missed opportunity. I think they're really, really cool. We're going to go ahead and we're going to flip forward to one of the feats, because there's... I mean, we can't sit here and go through every little inch of this thing. There aren't that many feats. It's just a few pages long, but it is still pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and just talk about a short one here, kind of pun intended. Giant Foe. Prerequisite is that you are a small or smaller race. Your experience fighting giants such as ogres, trolls, and frost giants has taught you how to avoid their deadliest blows and how to wield mighty weapons to better combat them. There you go. Gain the following benefits. Increase your strength score by 1 to a maximum of 20. If you normally have disadvantage on attack rolls made with weapons with a heavy property due to your size, you don't have a disadvantage on the attack rolls. When a giant attacks you, any critical hit from it becomes a normal hit. Whenever you make a history check related to the cultural origins of a giant, specifically, you're considered proficient in the history skill and double your proficiency bonus with the check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. So you essentially get expertise in giant stuff, which is really, really cool. I like that one because it lets you use heavy two-handed weapons as a little bitty guy. And I always play little bitty guys. Oop, I just spilled tea all over my whiteboard. Whoops. Just gonna put that there, and we're gonna mop that up right quick here. And we're gonna let that be a thing that we do. At least I didn't dump it all over the book, because that would be so sad. Honestly, I don't think we're really going to take a stop in the adventuring gear section because it's a lot of normal stuff. However, there are the following sections, and I think it is important to acknowledge them, if nothing else. Gunpowder. Off to a good start. Armor, weapons, special materials, gear and tools, clockwork creations, vehicles and war animals, trinkets, and creature statistics. So a lot of really cool stuff in there to help augment the adventuring stuff. That is sort of the most DM workshop kind of area thing, and I just think it's really kind of cool. Those are some really awesome options to be able to just sort of drag and drop into your world. Chapter 5, we're also not going to really dive into. They are adventuring rules, downtime, group themes, and weapon options. Again, a little bit of DM work here, but also mostly I help ideas, stuff like that, for players in downtime, in sort of branding their group, if that's something you want to do, and some optional stuff for weapons. We are going to take a quick little jaunt into magic and spells, however, because there is some interesting stuff in here. So the thing I really want to hit on in magic and spellcasting is the fact that it introduces both draconic rune casting and hedge magic in addition to just more spells. And those are a pretty cool set of things. The draconic rune casting is what we'll look at first here. Draconic rune casting is a magic system that has two main uses: enhancing spells when using runes, and as a spellcasting focus, or combining empowered runes to replicate spells, both of which are detailed in the following sections, blah blah blah. To use a rune at first must be inscribed on the surface or object. Placement of a draconic rune is limited only by your imagination. It can be inscribed in a spellbook, carved on a small stone, etched in armor, tattooed on the skin, etc., etc. So essentially what it does is it allows you to utilize these cool rune-based things to augment magical effects that you are creating, spells you are casting. I think this is really, really great because in my mind it does kind of play into the tattoo wizard that I created back in June or July of last year, and I really, really love that subclass. It's still my favorite one I think I've ever made, and so this really sort of plays into that, and I think it's a really cool option to be able to add into your game. It's got a bunch of different runes that you could choose from here. I'm still flipping through pages for it. And then hedge magic, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is the practice of using flora and fauna to create, or specifically flora, to create magical effects and cast spells. Though it is practiced across many cultures, hedge magic is not a discipline of magic typically recognized as a wizardly tradition or categorized school of magic. That is exactly what it sounds like. Essentially, it's saying it's too naturey, too hippie for the scholars of wizardry, which I think is just fun. And it is kind of like an alchemical sort of thing. There is a lot of combining plants, using plants to change spells and stuff like that. So I think that is a really, really interesting option for you to be able to actually use. I highly recommend checking out these two sections in particular, in addition to just all of the magic spells that they add here, because there is a solid 36 pages of spells added to this to the book here. So highly recommend checking those out because they're just really, really cool. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of magic items. Magic items are magic items. We know how those work. Honestly, I could read you a couple of them, but there's no reason to. They're magic items, and they've got cool art that goes with them. I mean, look at this dagger in the corner here by my thumb. It's really cool. So, highly recommend checking out the Tome of Heroes. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal book. Everything I've read in it so far, I have fallen in love with, and I am so excited to get to go back and get more down into a lot of the details that are in it. But check this out. Kobold Press does some amazing work. Check out all of their stuff. It's really, really all phenomenal. I know some people don't love deep magic, but I enjoyed it. I made a third-party Thursday about it. I thought it was really cool. They do good work over at Kobold Press. And honestly, their monsters are better balanced for 5th edition, I think, than the actual 5th edition monsters are. Whoops. Obviously, there are no monsters in this, but that's for the Tome of Beasts. 1, 2, 3 is coming out eventually, and the Creature Codex. So, have a look-see with them. So, moving on from that, let's go over the shows we have today, and I'll be back tomorrow to talk to you guys about those. So today, it is just Critical Role, Authors and Dragons, NADPOD, and LGBT D&D. Go check them out. Let them know I sent you. Those are a lot of bigger shows, so you probably won't get noticed as much they won't care that I sent you. But I still think it'll be funny. So if you don't mind, please go and do that for me. I really would appreciate it. But that is everything I have to talk to you guys about today. So thank you very much for making me part of your morning routine. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much in particular to my patrons. You guys are the ones that make this show possible. If you're interested in becoming a patron, check out the link in the episode description here. And I really do appreciate you guys even thinking about it. But with all that said, don't forget, everybody, drink tea, play D&D, and keep on rolling.